Our summer cabins stood on the outskirts of Black Hollow, Montana. It was the early 90s, before the highways, before the city crept in. Back then, the area was all dirt roads, wooden fences, and flickering streetlights barely cutting through the darkness. I spent my summers there, running with the local kids, kicking up dust under the scorching sun. But when the sky bruised into twilight, I always walked home alone. There was an old woman who lived in one of the cabins, a woman the locals feared. They called her a witch. She never smiled, never spoke unless necessary. If you bothered her with foolishness, she would ignore you completely. But if you truly needed help, she would give it. Her daughter, a girl of 15, had once been attacked while walking home from the store. A dog, no, not just a dog, but a beast, had lunged at her from the shadows, its jaws closing around her leg. She survived, but the scars ran deep, white lines twisting down her calf like roots of some unseen thing. After that, no one spoke about it. No one walked that path again. But I did. That evening, I was heading home with my friends. We laughed, kicked rocks, made stupid jokes. Then we reached the fork where our roads split. One by one, they disappeared into the dark. I stopped to tie my shoe, cursing as the knot refused to loosen. That's when I heard it. A growl. Low. Deep. Not the growl of a hungry stray, but something worse. Something ancient. I lifted my head. It stood in the middle of the path. Gaunt, towering, its fur hanging in filthy patches. Its eyes, wrong, inhuman, burned with a light that didn't belong in this world. A breath hitched in my throat. My legs refused to move. The dog took a step forward. I was going to die. Then. A voice. Not from my own shaking lips, but from the shadows beyond the fence. A language I didn't know, harsh, guttural, slicing through the thick night air like a blade. The witch. She stood in the darkness, her bony fingers raised, her mouth moving fast. The words weren't English. Weren't Spanish. They were something else. Something much older. The dog, no, the thing, twitched violently. Its body convulsed, spasmed. And then, with a sickening crack, it stood up. Not on 4 legs. On 2. Its body jerked like a marionette, limbs twisting at unnatural angles. Its jaw hung open, too wide, as if it wanted to scream but didn't know how. My stomach lurched. The witch barked another command. The thing let out a wet, gurgling sound and staggered backward, deeper into the blackness. Its glowing eyes were the last thing I saw before it disappeared. I turned to the old woman. My lips barely moved. Thank you. She didn't smile. Didn't nod. She only whispered, "You're welcome," before vanishing into the night. The next morning, they found the dog at the bottom of an abandoned well. The well had been dry for years. No one went near it. People said it must have fallen in. But I knew the truth. It hadn't fallen. It aged.